guys, I am Chris Kaler.
And I'm Amber Foster Kyuujin Cosplay, and today we're with you guys with WandaVision!
Finally!
Yeah.
Yes, it has been a while since this show came out, and we were not supposed to react to it at first.
Finally convinced her to watch it!
I wasn't a big fan of Wanda and Vision, and I've never been a fan of these two characters, even though I'm a huge Marvel fan. So the show wasn't on my radar that much, but then recently we did a rewatch of a lot of Marvel movies, and we reacted to Loki, I mean a few months ago?
Many months ago.
Yeah. Anyway, we reacted to Loki, and now we want to react to Moon Knight, and Multiverse of Madness is coming out, so I was like, well, since all of this ties in,
why
we
not
should
watch
it? So we're finally doing it. I mean, I've heard good things about the show. I know they're gonna do some, they're gonna wink, wink, wink pretty heavily at a lot of TV genres.
A lot of sitcoms, yeah.
TV shows and stuff, which I am passionate about, so I know I'm gonna like it. So it's never been about this. It's just, it wasn't on my radar, but now it is, so.
As for me, I did watch a bunch of scenes online, so I know a couple of things from the show, but don't worry, I'm not gonna spoil her. I'm just gonna freak out beside her.
Yeah, I am mostly just excited to see how that ties in with Multiverse of Madness, because as we are recording this,
you'll know.
We're gonna go watch Multiverse of Madness when it comes out. So for us, right now, it's in 3 days. We're gonna rush through, and but then you guys are still gonna get one episode a week because I cannot edit that fast with the schedule. So, but aside from that, yeah, we're gonna rush through the show because we need to catch up until Multiverse of Madness because we don't want to get spoiled.
Nope.
And aside from that, like you said, you've seen a few things. I haven't seen anything. All I know is the TV stuff, and I know it's apparently very good. So, he's playing around. Let him do his thing. Ugh. So that's pretty much it. I say we jump right away into this first episode and see what the show is about. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to know when these episodes come out, and check out our Patreon. We do have the full reactions over there. So check it out. The link is in the description.
Let's go!
Let's go!
I'm not sure a fan of Wanda or Vision. I'm a huge fan of Scarlet Witch, so I'm gonna enjoy it again.
Just out of context, you're watching this for the first time, you don't know what they want to talk about, this is weird.
She's a magical girl in a small town locale.
Oh, honey! Out of old sitcoms like those,
We didn't watch it much, but
we've seen the remake of Bewitched with Will Ferrell and Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, but before that, when we were kids, we had a caretaker. She was a huge fan of those, and she would let them play on the TV, so.
Ginny the Genie.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Oh, the old effects. The old humor.
For the flying saucers.
My husband and his indestructible head.
They had to paint it blue to look good and gray.
What do you say to silver dollar pancakes, crispy hash browns, bacon, eggs, freshly squeezed orange juice, and black coffee?
I say, oh, I don't eat food.
That explains the empty refrigerator.
Those two characters in this environment is funny. How did they end up here, though? I don't know.
You'll see.
Right about today's date.
Oh yes, the heart. Well, don't tell me you have forgotten, Viz.
Forgotten? I wonder I'm incapable of forgetfulness. I remember everything.
Well, then tell me what's so important about today's date.
Oh, how's you forgotten yourself?
Gee, heavens no, I've been so looking forward to it.
As have I.
It's the first time we have ever celebrated this occasion before.
It's a special day.
Not that special if both of you can't remember it. As an actor, it must be pretty funny, to get that opportunity to do stuff that used to be done 50 years ago. And you understand, it's over-exaggerated and stuff, but...
Have a good day, dear.
So, what's your name? Where are you from? And most importantly, how's your bridge game, hon?
I'm Wanda.
Wanda. Charmed. Golly, you settled in fast. Did you use a moving company?
Magic!
I sure did. Those boxes don't move themselves.
Except they do.
What's a
But
single gal like you doing rattling around this big house?
Oh, no, I'm not single.
Oh, I don't see a ring.
Well, I assure you, I'm married. To a man. A human one, and
a man, a
as a
human
matter of
one.
fact, he'll be home later tonight for a special occasion. Just the two of us.
Oh, is it somebody's birthday?
Not a birthday.
An anniversary then?
Yes. This is our anniversary.
Oh, how marvelous. Lucky gal. The only way Ralph would remember our anniversary is if there was a beer named June 2nd. So what do you have planned
How do you mean?
for your special night?
I didn't remember a special night until 10 minutes ago.
Much, but I was just reading a Crackerjack magazine article called How to Treat Your Husband to Keep Your Husband. And let me tell you, what Ralph could really use is how to goose your wife so you don't lose your wife. Hang on, I'll go grab it and we can start planning.
How are they here? How come they don't know what's up? I'm assuming this is after Endgame, but he's dead. Or she went looking for him. She ended up here.
Is there something I can help you with, buddy?
Would you be so good as to tell me what it is we do here exactly?
They don't belong in this universe, and they feel it deep down.
So, then what is the purpose of this company?
All I know is since you've gotten here, productivity has gone up 300%.
Well, the way that you're calculating, of course it will.
And no one can process the data quite like you do, pal. You're like a walking computer.
He is.
I most certainly am not.
No, what are you talking about?
Thanks again, Miss Vision.
Yes.
Wife and I are looking forward to this
His
evening.
name is still Vision.
Mr. Hart, of course.
Why not?
Dinner with Mr. Hart and his dear lady wife, Mrs. Hart.
Employee dinners are a rite of passage for the new hire.
Ah.
Jones over there failed miserably. Isn't that right, Jones?
The wife thought 5 courses would be sufficient.
My God.
It was that paltry excuse for entertainment.
A string quartet?
And then you had that embarrassing display of beatnik enthusiasm.
I wore a turtleneck.
Jesus
You know, I owe my
Christ.
success to being a keen judge of character. No skeletons in your closet, eh, Vision?
I don't have
Skeleton?
skeletons, sir.
So we've got music covered, decor, wardrobe. What about seduction techniques?
Oh, I have those.
Of course you do.
Just out of curiosity, what does it say?
That you should stumble when you walk into a room so he can catch you.
Any other tricks?
You could point out that the death rate of single men is twice that of married men.
You should stay with me or you'll die. I love the attention to details, though. Like, even the frame rate fits.
Darling,
Vision, sweetheart.
listen, about tonight.
Don't worry, dear. I have everything under control.
But you don't!
I must confess, I'm really rather nervous.
Nervous? Whatever for?
Well, you know, darling, I still get a little tongue-tied.
Liz? After all this time.
There's an awful lot riding on this one.
Not the same thing, Wanda!
Tonight doesn't go just so. I think this could be the end.
It's just one night. There's no need to get dramatic.
Look, I think
Get
the best course of
dramatic.
action is to impress the wife.
And I think the best course of action is to impress the husband.
Well, wonderful. Glad to know we're both on the same page.
But you're not. Oh, that's gonna be great. Well, if she goes all out, maybe they'll be impressed. Even if there is a very romantic and personal touch to the dinner, maybe they're gonna be into it. Into that. Maybe.
Here we are.
Oh, how
Impressed.
very atmospheric.
Pardon me while I just go and fetch the lady of the house.
Oh
boy.
no. Oh no.
Guess who?
You thought it was him?
Wanda!
Vision?
What's the meaning of this?
Special welcome.
We're into couple exchange.
This is the traditional Sokovian greeting
Yes,
of
yes, of course.
hospitality. Guess who?
Oh, is that my host behind me?
It certainly is.
Lovely to make your acquaintance.
See, I forgot to tell you my wife is from Europe.
How exotic.
We don't break bread with bullshit.
Jesus
Arthur.
Christ.
Have you no culture at all? And that dress.
Yes, it's so Sokovian is what it is. Yes.
It's so Sokovian.
That man through there is my boss, Mr. Hart. And his dear lady wife, Mrs. Hart. The Hart on the calendar was an abbreviation. I don't want to be unappreciative, but right now.
Your boss and his wife are expecting a home-cooked meal.
Exactly.
Magic!
Any chance they'd settle for single chocolate-covered strawberries split 3 ways? I might have a better
Maybe?
idea.
It's a good thing they have magic. They don't have food.
Oh, Agnes, you're a lifesaver.
Oh, what kind of housewife would I be if I didn't have a gourmet meal for 4 just lying about the place?
Sure.
Not that Ralph ever wants to eat anything other than baked beans.
I don't see how this would be better than what that other guy did. Or maybe he did too much and that's why they didn't buy it.
A 5 gourmet meal in a quarter.
She's never cooked ever, ever.
Well,
in her life.
She's cooked before. Have you ever heard of paprika?
Salagadoo, la magicadoo, la
I sense a domestic
Mrs.
emergency.
Hart, please don't. You can't. Take out the papers and the trash. Or you won't get no spending cash. You ain't gonna rock and roll no more.
Sorry about my computer.
Now, why don't we have a nice sing-along all together then, shall we?
It's not a quartet, but I can play well.
It's more charming like this.
Oh, what was the main course again? It was steak.
I can see the threads. That's beautiful.
I think that must be my wife summoning me.
She calls you Diane?
Yes, it's a pet name for me.
Of course it is.
Just coming.
Fred.
Fred. Excuse me, Robert.
It's interesting to see him this comedic. Because we're so used to him not having any emotions or anything.
That's what I said. He's acting and speaking more human.
Well, he fits the genre.
Finish the meat. Find the lobsters. I'll be right back. I hope you're hungry.
Starved is more like it.
My head is starting to feel woozy.
Were either of you aware that married men are killing single men at an alarming rate?
What the fuck?
And what's going on in there?
He's kidding a single man.
From what I've seen here tonight, you can barely keep it together. I mean, look around. As though there's chaos going on in your household. Now, what are we going to eat?
Dinner is served.
It looks more like a breakfast than actual what her neighbor brought
He
in.
just told it.
Oh, very,
European?
They can't criticize. She's from Europe.
Where did you two move from? What brought you here? How long have you been married? And why don't you have children yet?
Start asking the right questions. You might realize something's wrong.
We moved from...
And we were married.
Yes, we were married.
well, moved from where? Married when?
They never moved. They were never married.
Just leave the poor kids alone.
Have you seen the
Yeah, I mean,
Avengers?
it's a very simple question.
Nice recap.
Honestly, why did you come here?
I'm guessing
Damn
to
it,
save
why?
Vision's
Why
life.
did you-
Oh, Arthur, stop it.
Save his life.
Stop it.
We switched from the talk show, well, not the talk show, but the sitcom to the actual TV show format.
Stop it.
Angles of the camera change. It's getting serious.
Stop it. Stop it.
Vision helped him.
Bring your hand.
You are
Alright,
too
stay
funny.
on side.
Too happy for this to be true.
Well, would you look at the time?
Yes.
You don't seem phased by it,
Nope,
right?
not at all. That's why I'm saying, like, I said it wrong, but the wife is too happy.
This guest is leaving your home.
Yes, thank you for coming.
We'll see about that promotion, huh?
Yes.
How did that fucking work?
He saved his life.
It's like he never noticed.
We are an unusual couple, you know.
Oh, I don't think that was ever in question.
We don't have an anniversary
Huh.
or a song.
Today could be our anniversary.
Of what? Surviving our first dinner party?
The first episode of your TV show.
And how someone could be?
Yak the yak, naturally.
Naturally.
And the rings?
Well, could you make some for us?
The cut.
I do. And they lived happily ever after.
I'm happy for them. It's just that this isn't real. Like, I'm glad that they're still together, but he's supposed to be dead. Is it a simulation or something? Okay, so that was WandaVision, the first episode.
So, we can notice right away that something is up. Because when they're asking, where are you from?
Wait, I need to pause.
Since when are you married?
Well, they
when
obviously-
have children, they freeze because they know that something is up.
They obviously, like, from what I can gather from the first episode, I don't know why, but it looks like I would not have been surprised if we had seen them both asleep in some sort of pod and linked to a machine or something. Like,
It could be because
but
at
then
the
he's dead.
At the end of the episode, we've seen the
A simulation
the-
sort of thing,
yeah.
yeah. But he's dead. This is after Endgame.
It is after Endgame.
He is dead.
I know.
So that's the question, like, because I was assuming in the episode, perhaps, like, if it has something to do with Multiverse of Madness, if it has something to do with Multiverse, period, maybe she tried to find him. And I mean, you can't make faces, but
I won't.
I was thinking maybe she tried to go somewhere where he was still alive, find him, and ended up in a place where, you know, she just lost. But I mean, that's not really how Multiverse works, but from what we've seen in other movies and stuff, but because, like, she would not forget who she truly is and who he truly is and where they come from and what they've done, but it looks like that's still what happened. So I don't know how they got in this situation, but this is the biggest question we have. So there's that. Now, with that aside, they do seem to have realized that, you know, they are still in there. It's just that most of the time they are switched to the genre,
The sitcom persona.
This episode is a sitcom, but it's not. That does not necessarily mean it's going to be the same thing every episode. So in any case, this episode was kind of like a bewitched episode, basically, like the wife that has powers and stuff and takes care of the household while the husband has to. Well, in this case, the husband also has powers, so that's a bit different, but it's the same genre, black and white, in front of a live audience. I think it's the name of the episode too. So the very over-the-top comedy, and they are personally switched to the personas they would have had if they were in this universe, in this sitcom. But deep down, they are truly in there. And when I really loved the switch of, like, I expressed it really badly because today I can't speak English for some reason.
Why does it from the sitcom camera angle
the
to the
sitcom format
show angle?
to, you know, because I mean that's the thing when they used to do sitcoms like this, and I'm gonna do that a lot. I think in this show, bring back stuff that I learned and stuff that I know.
Go ahead.
But I think I'm not the only one who knows about this. But you know, cameras used to be huge, and the movement that you could do with those cameras were very minimal.
Limited, yeah.
And in a sitcom like this, you don't have time. Like, you can't move your camera around. It needs to be preset because you have your set, you have your audience. Your camera is doing moves like this. Sometimes you zoom in. That's it. You have a bunch of cameras with a bunch of angles, but that's it. You
Mostly
cannot
general
go in.
shot, right?
Well, you have I haven't learned this in English, so I don't really know how to explain it in English, but you have the main shot, which is basically like the camera is going to film the whole set, and then you have a bunch of little cameras that are going to be set on the characters depending on where they are, but usually in sitcoms like this, movement is minimal. You cannot go in, like, you're not going to be close to your characters, you're not going to do huge camera movements because you can't afford to move the cameras around. And it's even more true in those days because the cameras were huge. Mm-hmm. So we definitely saw the switch in camera movements and just camera shots in general when they started realizing something's off. You know, we should remember these things, but we don't. And then the camera started.
We should do something to help him also.
Well, sure, they are heroes, so perhaps that also triggered it. But it was mostly like realizing They don't remember ever being married. They don't remember where they came from. They don't remember anything about their history. So that's not normal. And that's pretty much when the camera switched to movie format or TV show that we're used to watching format. So not sitcom. So the breaking of the illusion was pretty cool. And then they went right back to their couple persona from the sitcom, which I mean, it's funny because it's true out of every character in the Marvel universe, these two are probably the least emotional. Like she is emotional when she
was emotional,
has to.
but it's true that for Vision, even in the Avengers, Infinity Wars, and Endgame, well, before he's dead, basically, he still has this robot personality. Like he wasn't that expressive when he was talking.
He has been opening up to her, but even then, like his emotional maturity is non-existent. Basically, like he acts more like a robot than he acts than a human.
He was less expression.
Well, he has no emotional maturity. He doesn't understand emotions. He does have emotions.
He understood them after the 5 years gap in Avengers.
But he still acts.
Endgame.
It's 5 years old. A baby that's 5 years old is not gonna show emotions that are complicated. It's not gonna have layers or anything. Like he's barely scratched the surface of what he feels and how to express it. So he is more robot than human, but he was starting to go deeper into his human side because of her, because of his love for her and the time they spent together. So that's great. He died in Infinity War, so he didn't have the time jump.
Sorry, but I mean from Civil War till Infinity War, there's a few years gap. That's what I meant. Sorry.
Yes, but 5 years.
In Infinity War, he showed more facial expression, but this time that was over the top.
That's not the same because he adopted the persona of a character in a sitcom. So in an old sitcom. So it wasn't Vision. It's not like Vision suddenly became human or anything. It's just like it's not Wanda, and because I mean I'm saying these two characters are usually the least emotional, considering her trauma, considering how she was raised, considering the fact that she's still like she has Vision, but aside from him, she's still kind of an outsider in the Avengers. So both of them are misfits, and both of them don't have many connections when it comes to having friends or family or anything. Like they have nothing else. So they are pretty closed off. So to put these two characters in this universe is very interesting because I think out of everyone else, they're the ones that are having the biggest clash. So that's pretty cool. I mean the format it just fit.
I love the old Cinematrix with the threads and the stuff flowing in the row, and
you're
not supposed to know that the threads are there.
Well, they're gonna be there because you don't have time to go back and edit anything else. Like it needs to happen on screen for the audience as much as possible. So I really love the attention to detail because it's really like they recorded this with the means that they would have had back in the day. Like the frame format was 4x3 instead of what we're used to now. So just like then, it would have been smaller. Same with, like you said, special effects. You would use strings and stuff because it was all happening there at the time of the recording. So that's pretty cool. You see also the way they edit, like CGI. No, that's not, well, they were using a little bit of special effects because, he went through the door or the throat. The throat. Well, yeah, yes. And then he would also switch from his human face to his Vision face. So that's a bit of special effects, but you can see how they did this because back in the day it was film. It wasn't digital or anything. So you had to edit it in a way that, you can use two films together and do the transition perfectly. So it's evident, it's clear. And another one I saw also when they switched for the rings, the clear cut, because you can't make rings appear out of nowhere.
You know what, guys? We used to do the same trick when we were younger and trying to do cinema tricks with a whole cam recorder.
When you can't do CGI, that's
the best.
Those are the old tricks. This is how it used to be done. So when you don't have the means to do something like they do today, this is what you go back to. Strings and cuts.
I know that I said it during the episode, but watching some behind the scenes of how they do the episode for the black and gray period, Vision is supposed to be red. But red on black and white screen doesn't look good. It's way too dark.
I have seen photos of him in blue.
Yeah, Yeah.
So that I knew, and I mean, it's just funny how they adapted this. I still have a lot of questions about why this is going on, so I can't speak to that yet.
Episode 2 or maybe 3, who knows?
I can't speak to that yet because of the lack of answers. But aside from that, there's definitely something going on. I think it's interesting that we're revisiting old formats, old genres that no matter how old you are, like we said, we didn't used to watch much of them. Like we didn't watch old TV shows, but our caretaker would. So it wasn't rare for us to play around in the house, and then Bewitched would play on TV, or I don't know what the title of the show is, but you said Genie, the Genie.
The Genie, yeah.
So that's in French. We're translating directly from the French title.
I guess.
I think it's something else perhaps in English, but you might know what the show is. So yeah, Genie the Genie was a show that
we used
played
to watch
at our
also
home.
the $2 Million Man.
But that's later. That's in color. That's years
in
after.
I know.
But
yeah, we're gonna just do a bunch of old shows by our caretaker. So
actually, my first landlord, every time I would go to his house to pay rent, would be watching old TV shows like this too.
Really?
Yeah, I think Bewitched played at his house all the time as well.
But you know what? Even though that some of those shows for today wouldn't have aged well, they got a certain charm to them.
Well, there's
right?
definitely, we saw stuff in there that, like I said, that's why it's fun for an actor to have this chance, this opportunity, because you won't be doing this seriously today. Like you mentioned that we watched the Bewitched movie with Will Ferrell and Nicole Kidman, and it's kind of, it's similar because they also got to recreate a genre that wasn't played anymore. Like even sitcoms today are very different. Like they still have the over-the-top comedy and the audience is still participating and stuff, but it's not that over-the-top, having that opportunity as an actor to do the over-the-top acting and, play with your body a lot more, and you make those jokes who would not be used today, like mentioning laughing at the fact that women had to stay home and take care of the house and take care of their husband, and it's their responsibility to do those things. Like today, feminists would be exploding all over the place over this, and they would not like this. So it's a genre. It fits for the genre, and we all understand that. So it works only because it's in this environment.
The way you said it though, because it's true, and older TV shows, older sitcoms, the camera was way too big to move it, right? So basically, it's like they are playing. Sorry, the actors are playing in front of a live audience, like in theater, right?
Well, it's similar to theater. Well,
that explains why the grand gestures and the body
similar.
movement.
Yeah, the acting is similar to theater too. I played Elsa in a production of Frozen a couple of years ago, and I remember coaching a few younger actors that were going to be in the play. Because, we had a director.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, a metteur en scène, basically.
A director.
We had a director who had to take care of everyone else, so she couldn't focus on everyone. So since I did study theater and stuff, she would send me with other actors to coach them a little bit. And I remember telling those kids, when you're on the
stage.
scene, when you're on stage and stuff, you cannot act like you would normally. Like you cannot have the same energy you would have in front of a camera, or in your house talking to your family or your friends. Everything needs to be exaggerated, and your energy level needs to be up there. Like because people all in the back won't notice anything if you don't bring it to the stage. So even if you're playing a sad character, you need to amplify. If you're playing a funny character, even more. So you see that. In this genre, you see a lot of, a lot of physical comedy. You see a lot of over-exaggerated expressions too. It's similar to theater, probably because of the live audience. And technically also, like, cameras not being able, like, we do have shots of their faces and stuff, but if you want to bring the attention to an expression, it's easier if the camera can really get in on the actor. But if you're stuck with general shots of the scene and of the stage and everything, like you cannot get in and getting close to your actors and stuff, and you might not see the expressions as much and stuff. So perhaps that's one of the reasons to why everything was over exaggerated. So the camera can really pick up everything.
All right.
In any case, it's more a discussion about the genre than it is about the TV show.
It is different, so that's why.
Well, that's all we can talk about for this first episode because we still don't really. Well, I mean, I don't know about you, but I still don't know anything about why they're in there. And so, I mean, it looks like
someday you'll know.
Of course, we're watching the TV show.
So that was the first episode of WandaVision. We don't know much. We know that something is wrong.
Yes.
They kind of feel that something is wrong. So we're gonna see.
It is sad. Like, I'll say this though, it is sad to see them evolve as a couple in an environment that's not their environment, as characters that are not that technically them. You know, like it's not their personality or anything. So it's like they're living it, but they're not really living it. So it's sad because I mean, as far as I knew, he's dead and she was heartbroken and that was the end of it. And now it's like they're being given a second chance, but it's not really true. You know, it's not their reality. So it's kind of like it's a stab in the back. I feel.
Look at it. This is what could have been,
Well,
but it's
sort
not
of.
you.
Sort of. That's what it feels like. You know, like it's there. Like we could have had this, but no. Like it's too fake. I mean, it is fake. Like they're not themselves. So.
All right.
We will see how that evolves. But yeah, this is pretty much episode 1. I do not know what's wrong with us, but we cannot speak English today. So hopefully it sounded normal as much as possible and you understood what we meant. But yeah, this wasn't episode 1. If you want to see episode 2 right away, it is on Patreon already. You can check it out. The link is in the description below.
And if you don't, the next one shall be on YouTube next week, guys. So keep an eye on it. We're gonna see you next time.
Yes. Bye.
Bye, guys.